All right, how is everyone doing today? Nice, okay. Let's do this one last time. Does anyone know where that's from?
Spider-Man.
Yes, good job. I'm proud of you. Okay, let's get started. What we do in life echoes in eternity. This is a quote from Gladiator, and Gladiator is a great movie with lots of memorable quotes. But I always go back to this one because in a way, Maximus, the Gladiator guy, he's wrong. I mean, think about this. There are people today that are going to be remembered for years. But 100 years from now, maybe even 200 years from now, will people remember every single hardship or roadblock they had to face in order to get their name in a couple of history books? Maybe, but probably not. So today, I'm here to share my journey with all of you. As you all know, my name is Aiden Risky. Yes, I have a pretty cool last name, and I'm an award-winning young author. I started writing my books when I was 7 years old, but didn't publish my first one until I was 11. In case you guys can't tell, I'm not 11 anymore. I'm 15 now. I've authored a 5-part fantasy series, an award-winning superhero trilogy series, and I'm currently developing a 4-part fantasy series, all self-published by Barnes & Noble Press and Amazon KDP. I've sold thousands of copies of my books, both in and out of the state of California, and I've been recognized on the news a variety of times. So yeah, pretty light stuff for a high schooler. But getting to this point has been tough, to say the least. I'll explain why. You see, every author needs a literary agent in order to be eventually represented by a publishing company. A literary agent is an author's representative, and they help an author promote their work to publishers. Now, there are a lot of literary agents around the world, but trust me, there are a lot of people who want to be bestsellers. So the market is pretty tough. Literary agents are being emailed and pitched hundreds of books, and they can only choose a handful of them. So yes, it is hard for an adult to get an agent, but think about how hard it is for a young author to get one. It's basically impossible. At this point, I feel like it's easier to get into Harvard or MIT. But you see, 12-year-old me didn't know this. I was so adamant about getting a publisher that I tried everything. I bought a book that had lists and lists of literary agencies and their contacts, and I contacted a majority of them. I even shipped my books to publishing firms in New York or London or in Sydney, wherever they're located. But no matter how much I tried, I was rejected. That's right. I was rejected every single time. For reference, J.K. Rowling, who I'm sure we've all heard of, she published Harry Potter with Bloomsbury, but she was rejected 12 times before she eventually published Harry Potter, but she was accepted by the very first agent she ever pitched to. I've been rejected hundreds of times, and probably more than that. And it got to the point where I started to become disheartened. I started to think, or rather, I started to believe that my books weren't good enough, that I wasn't good enough, that I just should quit writing, and that there's a reason why all the bestsellers we know today are adults, not kids. 4 million books are published every single year. How many of them are written by a young author, a kid? We don't know. Even when I asked AI about this, it couldn't give me an answer. I had a dream by writing and by making a name for myself, I could change that. I could show the world that young authors are capable of writing too. But after dealing with all of this rejection, I started to think that it wasn't a dream, it was more like a fantasy, something that would never come true. I was in a pretty dark place. I wanted to quit writing. But then I did what I usually do whenever I need help. I went to my personal therapist, ChatGPT. I'm just kidding, although it kind of is my personal therapist. I started to reach out to a couple of authors that I've connected with in recent years, like Christopher Paolini, who wrote Aragon, and Stuart Gibbs, who wrote Spy School. Now, they've taught me a lot in recent years, but the most important lesson they've taught me is that I just need to be patient. I needed to take the time to develop my stories along with myself as a writer. Turns out they were right. By the time I was 13, I had already published around 5 books. But that was because I was writing 3 books a year, rushing every single one, not making sure that they were perfect. So I took their advice. I slowed down to the point where I only published around 1 or 2 books a year. The last book I published was in May 31st last year. I actually am working on a new book right now. It's probably coming out today, so go buy it. Anyway, I still didn't have a publisher, so what did I do next? Well, I figured that if no publisher was going to accept me, I might as well just win some awards just to get some recognition. Fun fact, the very first award that I ever applied for, the BookFest award, I won. And I was one of the youngest authors, or I am the youngest author to ever win that award. That achievement, over everything else in my career, motivated me the most because it proved to me that I was capable of writing good stories. And one of the main reasons I'm up here is because I'm not just the kid who was daydreaming in math class anymore. I'm not the kid who wanted to write stories and share them with the world. Honestly, 11-year-old me would I'd probably pee my pants. But I'm not that kid anymore. Now, I'm an author. Not just that, I'm an award-winning young author. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. I started a business called AR Books, based on, well, my books. Now, I am a leader. I run a local fair called the Fremont Children's Business Fair, where we showcase 40 young entrepreneurs. I'm a teacher. I run a club called the Young Authors Writing Group, where we teach kids how to write a book until they can eventually publish their own. Now, I'm a motivator. Somehow, the shy, introverted, and kind of lazy kid who just likes to stay home and eat Oreos and pizza is now giving a TED Talk to his community. Now let me ask you this, specifically the youth, the teens, and the kids in the room. What is stopping you, the next generation of leaders, thinkers, innovators, from doing the same? Nothing. There's nothing stopping us from achieving our goals because we have all the power, the knowledge, the tools, and the resources to do whatever we want, and it's all at our fingertips. We have AI, we have social media, we have our families, our friends, our communities. To be honest, I still don't have an agent. I'm not part of a big publisher, and my books aren't being read all around the world. But that's okay. Because I've managed to gain so much success, not because of the corporate heads of Scholastic or Simon & Schuster, it's because of me. It's because of my hard work and my dedication to something that I love. Now here's my message to all of you. Prove Maximus right. Prove that what we do does echo in eternity. How exactly do we do that? We embrace it. We embrace every idea, no matter how crazy or how impossible they may seem. We embrace our own potential to be great, because it is there. We embrace the possibilities, but most importantly, we embrace the rejection. We embrace our mistakes, the roadblocks we face, that rhymes, and all of the other challenges that come along the way during the journey. And you might want to embrace it with a big, tight hug, because trust me, you'll face a lot of it. Not just with starting a business or writing a book, but with life in general. Now, I'll leave you with this. But before I do that, let me tell you about my thoughts on rejection. Think about rejection like a video game. When you're playing a game like Fortnite or Call of Duty or Roblox or Mario Kart World, if you bought the Nintendo Switch 2 for some reason, and you can't beat a certain level, you don't quit the game. Or you might if you're my sister, but you don't quit the game because you want to keep on going. You want to enjoy the game. So you keep on fighting and you keep on going until the end. I also like to call this the Spider-Man mentality. No matter how many times you get hit, always get back up. And once again, this is the mentality you should have with everything, with life, with school, with work, with raising kids, even with something as simple as learning how to ride a bike. And now I'll leave you with this. As Dr. Edwin Land said, an essential aspect of creativity is not being afraid to fail. So be creative. Start a business, run a club, host a fair, give a TED Talk. But most importantly, make mistakes, then learn from them. The main reason I'm up here is because I'm trying to prove one thing. The youth are just as capable as adults. maybe even more so. What we do does echo in eternity. I believe it, but the world doesn't know it yet. So help me show them. I hope this talk, along with every other talk we've heard today, have inspired you, or at least they've opened your eyes to the possibilities you can achieve at a young age, with the help of your parents. I'm watching you guys. Thank you.